Hey, there's Liz.
Yeah, she made her
I just had to make a grand entrance.
I know, it's all about you, Liz.
Oh my gosh, it is. Thank you, guys.
Yes, welcome. And as always, before we kick things off, we're going to take a look at what's in the news. Yesterday morning, comedian and actor Gilbert Gottfried was laid to rest in a private New York ceremony. Gottfried died Tuesday at the age of 67 due to complications from a rare muscle disease. According to People magazine, comedians Jeff Ross, Colin Quinn, Susie Essman, Mario Cantone, and Dave Attell were among the funeral's attendees, as well as Bob Saget's wife, Kelly Rizzo, who posted a tribute to Gilbert on Twitter saying, "Bob loved Gilbert so dearly, they had a special friendship." And she posted a video or a photo of Bob Saget, Norm Macdonald, and Gilbert, who have all passed away just within the last few months. Liz and Quam, what's so interesting to me about Gilbert, and it's the same thing that actually struck me when Bob Saget died, is that Gilbert was a comedian, a very dirty, adult-oriented comedian, but somehow he was also a huge part of at least my childhood at the same time. So I don't know about you, but
yeah, same. Definitely. I mean,
yeah,
Aladdin, right? Like we all love the parrot in Aladdin, and I think that is exactly, that's my go-to. Like when I think of Gilbert, not only did I introduce my children to Aladdin, because that was more, when I was a little younger, but for sure, iconic and a part, I think, of everybody's childhood.
Yeah, same. I mean, Aladdin, and then for me, there's like so many just like iconic voice roles that I remember, him voicing. Specifically, one is the one in Dr. Dolittle, the dog. I don't know why this just sticks out to me, but
I forgot.
His voice. Yeah, right. It's like you go back and like look at his filmography and like, wow, oh yeah, he was in that too. He was in that too, and it's insane. Like we really lost a legend, especially at least from like our own childhood. So sad.
Yeah, it's interesting. My first memory of Gilbert was the movie Problem Child. Do you remember Problem Child with John Ritter, the little redheaded kid?
I don't know. I probably.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. I know because I've seen like the poster in like the movie stores and when Blockbuster was, I think.
Yeah. So that was released actually. That was 1990, so 2 years before Aladdin, and he played an adoption agent named Mr. Peabody, who facilitates the adoption of this nightmare child named Junior for a nice couple played by John Ritter and Amy Yasbeck. And but like as a kid, that voice, I think there was something so appealing about that loud voice and that face and that like chaos that he brought to the screen that was so endlessly hilarious to a child.
I can only imagine. Can you imagine that's your dad? Like, I wonder, does he just like talk like that in real life on purpose? Right? Like, to his kids.
Have to.
Yeah, but that's like not his normal speaking. I mean, he's a little gravelly, but like, he has like, I know, every once in a while you heard Michael Jackson talk, and it wasn't like the Michael Jackson that you would see on like award shows. He had his Michael Jackson at home voice and his Michael Jackson on like the MTV Movie Awards voice.
Can you imagine? That's your dad. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Gilbert. What a comedian and a talent. And, his legacy will live on, especially through Aladdin, because who doesn't love Iago? So moving on to the show, next up, we sit down with a man who stole both the Declaration of Independence and John Travolta's face in a segment called Hangouts. On April 22nd, the one and only Nicolas Cage returns to theaters in a brand new action comedy entitled The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, in which Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage, a down-on-his-luck actor who accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy superfan's birthday party in Spain. The iconic actor's trip is upended, however, when he finds himself stuck between the CIA and a notorious arms dealer. I had the chance to sit down for an interview with Nick Cage himself for a brand new episode of Xfinity Hangouts, and here is a sneak peek at our fascinating conversation.
We got another offer. It's $1 million. It's to attend a wealthy gentleman's birthday party.
I would never do that.
It's the easiest gig ever. You play yourself.
Nick Cage. What do you guys want?
We're with Central Intelligence. Do you know who you're spending time with? One of the most ruthless men on the face of this planet. I need you to help the U.S. government.
In the movie, modern-day Nick Cage meets a version of Nick Cage from 1990. Who was that Nick Cage, and what kind of mindset did you have to put yourself in to play him?
Well, that Nick Cage was literally picked from one of my interviews from the past. I was promoting a movie called Wild at Heart, and the title was Wild at Heart, and so I wanted to do like a wild presentation on a very, proper British show with Terry Wogan. So I went in and did front handsprings and karate kicks, threw money at the audience, subsequently took my shirt off and put my leather jacket back on. That guy was irreverent, he was obnoxious, he was arrogant. I'm glad I'm nothing like him anymore.
Welcome, Nicolas Cage.
How you doing?
Well, understatement's the watchword tonight.
Oh, hang on a second. My mic, darn it. All that physical activity just took my mic off.
You did a bit of that in Wild at Heart when you're dancing.
Sure did.
All those karate kicks.
Heck, I'll just hold it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry about that. I just had to get off my chest. You know, I was a bit wound up back there, so.
Were you? Worked up?
Well, just a little worked up.
Do you get carried away?
Well, I don't know if I get carried away. I just sort of have a good time, and you invited me on your show, so I'm just gonna have a blast.
A blast, eh?
But the character was a guy that I thought was doing whatever he could to become a star, a movie star. Like, that was extremely important to that time. I guess I was on some sort of a path trying to say, yeah, I may be Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, but you can't generate $6 billion just simply because you're Francis Ford Coppola's nephew. You gotta have charisma, you gotta be a star. And that guy is the guy that I wanted to have almost like the villain in this movie, constantly writing contemporary Nick Cage and speaking in his ear about things which subsequently in my own life are no longer as important to me. I'm mostly happy when I'm making smaller movies like Pig or Leaving Las Vegas. My roots are an independently spirited attitude, and I think indie dramas are where I'm happiest. Not so much the big blockbusters.
So as you can see, Nick Cage is exactly like he is all the time. There's no at home Nick Cage voice, and then stage he's just Nick Cage all the time. And when I was doing this hangout, I asked the cast and creators for their first memories of Nick Cage, because this really is just like a celebration of him as an actor and a kind of a weirdo. So I'm curious what your first memories of Nick Cage are.
Liz,
You want me to go first?
Oh, whoever's got it, go for it.
I mean, I don't know if it's my first movie, but I'd say that the most memorable movie for me, I mean, outside of like Face Off, I remember that one. But like, for some reason, Ghost Rider just really sticks with me. And I think it was maybe just the cool, like, he's on fire thing, like playing with fire thing. I don't know why that was appealing to me. And then there was Eva Mendes. right? Like I was like, wow. Yeah, I think that was like what I remember the most about. I mean, it was a Nicolas Cage movie, but I remember Eva.
To be fair, any movie with Eva is a great movie. So
it's true. Ghost Rider was terrible, but that's okay. Kwam, what is your first memory?
It'll also probably have to be that either Face Off or Con Air, but my most memorable Nick Cage movie most definitely is like National Treasure, because I remember watching these movies in like grade school. But I think objectively speaking, his best movie is definitely The Wicker Man. You know, this just alone for the bees. The bees. That's an icon. That's an iconic quote right there.
Well, it was interesting because I had told him about my first experience, and it was Con Air, and I watched it at a drive-in theater, and I just loved the drive-in and the experience of seeing that movie, that I now have this lifelong love of drive-in movie theaters, that I'll drive like an hour and a half to 2 hours away just to go to them. There's not many, but luckily here in like the Philly area, there's like 3 within 90 minutes that you can get to. And he told me this amazing story of seeing Planet of the Apes at the drive-in theater and going with his dad, and that he just had a similar experience where I think it was Dr. No and Planet of the Apes was a double feature, and he saw Sean Connery and thought it looked like his dad. Was kind of confused, thought his dad was on the screen. It was just really, really interesting to like get to know him as a person. And yeah, that's some of the stuff that you can check out when the full episode is available. And I'll also mention hearing him there at the end talk about this like commitment to indie dramas and storytelling. It's really working for him because the last 6 of 7 movies that he's done were largely well reviewed by critics. Pig is excellent. If you haven't seen it, go see Pig. It's so good. Willy's Wonderland, Color Out of Space were some really, really good movies that he's done. And then a few years ago, he had another movie called Mandy. And now The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent has 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like,
wow.
Like he's become kind of this like punchline for like making every movie that comes across his desk. Like, you want to be in this weird horror movie? Yes, absolutely. But things are changing, and that's kind of what this movie is about, getting back on top.
Let's be honest. I'm pretty sure that Nick Cage was just being himself, and then they started rolling the film. They're like, all right, just be yourself, go out there. Nick Cage, he's not even acting. He's just like, oh, this is Nick Cage.
It definitely feels like it. I highly recommend the movie. I saw the whole thing. It's so much fun. Like, just go in expecting just like absolute ridiculousness, and you'll have fun. In addition to Nick, I also hung out with Lily Sheen, who is the daughter of actors Michael Sheen and Kate Beckinsale, and she plays Nick Cage's daughter. And I also talked to the writer of the movie, Kevin Etten, and co-writer, director Tom Gormican. So check it out. The full episode will be available soon. Just say Xfinity Hangouts into your voice remote to check it out. You can also throw a Nick Cage movie marathon and watch Ghost Rider if you want to punish yourself, and also watch National Treasure and explore Nick's catalog by saying Nicolas Cage movies into your voice remote. Next up, if you thought Bad Bunny was a cartoon rabbit who loves to ruin gardens, we've got some news for you and a segment called Collections Corner. The 2022 Latin American Music Awards air live on Telemundo from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas on Thursday, April 21st. And it just so happens that we have our very own Latin music expert, Liz, and our music expert, Kwam, in the house to tell us about this year's biggest nominees, the likely winners, and so much more. Kwam, why don't you get us started and tell us a little bit more about the Latin AMAs?
Thanks, David. Yes, as you mentioned, the Latin American Music Awards are airing this Thursday on Telemundo. The Latin AMAs celebrate the latest and greatest in talent in Latin music. And Bad Bunny, as you mentioned, is leading the pack with 10 nominations. But some other top nominees include Jay Cortez, Karol G, and J Balvin, of course, because between him and Bad Bunny, they're just like cheat codes for every award show they're nominated in. You can see the nominees and so much more just by saying Latin American Music Awards to your Xfinity voice remote. But now it's time for Liz and I to give who we think are going to be some of the big winners for the night. And so starting off with female artist of the year, Liz, I want to get your opinion. Who do you think is going to win this award?
So for me, female artist of the year, and this is not based on anything other than my own bias and the fact that I think she is so chill and cool, is Rosalia. And I see you didn't choose Rosalia. What's going on?
I did not choose Rosalia. And Rosalia, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. I love you. We're meant to be together. Trust me.
No lo perdones. No way. Don't forgive him.
But I'm sorry. She didn't release an album this year, but you know who did? Callie Achuyes. And I loved her album so much. It was just so remarkable. I heard her music in the past, but I was never like fully like, drawn to her like that. But with her new album, I just could not give the award to anyone else but Callie. So I had to go with Callie.
I'm not mad. Like, I'm going to be 100 with you. This was so hard trying to choose a winner because all of this music is fantastic. And all of this music is stuff that, we're listening to. And depending on your mood, if you wanted something like, vibrant and get you going, like party mood, or you wanted something chill, like Rosalia. I mean, she's so smooth. I love her style. Everything about her is just chill and smooth. And, yeah, we'll see. We'll see on Thursday, the 21st.
Next year, Rosalia, I'm voting for you. I love Motor Mommy. So, yes, hit me on Instagram. The next category that we're going to be focusing on is top male artist. And this time I'll go first. I don't think he's going to win, but I would love to see him win. Artist Farruko. Farruko, yes. Yes, I love this song, Peppers. That is like my anthem right now. Liz, who did you choose?
Well, great minds. That's, what they say about great minds. So I also chose Farruko.
Oh my gosh.
Two different images. I just love everything about Farruko recently, right? So one, he's from Puerto Rico, so Huepa, Boricua over here. And so are 3 of the other 5 nominees, which is awesome. So again, can't go wrong in terms of the music is amazing and everybody has a different vibe. But what I love about Farruko recently is even though that song Pepas is huge, and people are coming to his concert, he is talking about how he is not in that headspace anymore, right? And so he has and decided not to perform that song at his concert. Wow. And literally gave everyone the option and said, now's your time to go. I'm happy to give you a refund. I'm not going to sing this song. It just does not represent me anymore. Because I don't know if you know about what the song actually represents, but it's all about partying and having a good time. And pepas are actually pills, right? So it's about drugs and that lifestyle. And he's saying that that is not his life anymore. He has lost his family and has lost the things that were closest and meant the most to him. So I really am praying for him to win. I think this would be such a great testament to who he is as an artist and that he doesn't necessarily have to live that lifestyle in order to be on top. And so, yeah, for all those reasons, and because he's amazing and I love Farruko, I chose Farruko too.
That's incredible. I have now a newfound respect because I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So often I don't really translate the songs. I'm just like vibing, like, yeah, this is a good song. The beat's hitting. But
yeah,
this seeing that how he made that change, that's actually really, really commendable. I think a lot of artists actually do that, especially artists who, like you said, lost family or even friends in the industry to drug use and trying to steer away from that. So all right, yeah, I think we're both for it. Farruko, you should definitely win. Last category, Song of the Year. I had to go back to my girl Callie with her song Telepisha. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope I am.
Telapia.
Telapia?
I think that's
oh
the
my
one.
God.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes. Clearly, I need to work on my
You're
Spanish.
doing great, Kwame. You're doing great.
You don't have to lie to me, Liz. Okay.
No,
I know
it's
I'm
good.
doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're gonna make me blush. But this song is my jam. Going back to, you know, like what I was saying about Callie, like this entire album was amazing, and this song in particular, you know, it's so, I just love like songs that are like have like really chill vibes and kind of like a psychedelic feel, and this song really just does it for me. And then also it kind of went viral on TikTok, so just kind of like a 2-for-1 there. And yes, I really hope this gets Song of the Year. But Liz, who is your choice?
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I mean, again, she's awesome, and would not be mad if she did win. Although I think you and I both talked about it. I think we know who is going to win, but we still have our hopes on our own picks. And I chose, again, Farruko. I did choose Pepas because for all the reasons that I mentioned before, it is a very catchy song. People know it. People know that beat, and you don't necessarily have to speak Spanish or understand Spanish to really fully appreciate the music, the beat. You don't even need to know what it's saying to know that it's just a whole vibe and it's a mood. And especially for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier, I really hope for Farruko's sake, for his family, for him and his record and his label, that he can prove that, you know, that he can come through this and still be on top with amazing music. So Farruko Pepas.
Pepas was my second choice. But like I said, you know, I had to go with my girl Callie. But now with this new knowledge of Farruko and, like, you know, what he's, you know, standing for, I would not be mad at seeing him win either. So I want Farruko to win all the categories, even female artist.
Yay!
Just give him every award.
I love that. Let's do it. I feel the same way.
David, are you excited for any of the music that you're going to be hearing on Thursday, or are you familiar with any of the artists? I know you're like a slight music connoisseur. Your music's pretty eclectic, so.
It is. I mostly know like some of these names, like Rosalia, just because I know you're obsessed with her, Kwam.
I knew you were going to figure her out, but.
But it's interesting. What I just loved so much about that conversation is I had no idea about Farruko and what he's been through, and like respect so much that he's decided not to sing this song that he doesn't relate to anymore. And I feel like that's been kind of a theme as of late, like especially artists with a lot of longevity going back and re-examining the lyrics and songs that made them famous, and deciding it doesn't align with who they are anymore. The Rolling Stones stopped playing Brown Sugar in their concerts just within the last year or two because of references to slavery and drug use and sex and just really insensitive lyrics. Now, 40, 50 years later, they've been on tour for so long. And Paramore stopped singing Misery Business, which was the song that made them famous and was like a keystone of their concert experience, because of lyrics that suggest like some slut shaming, and they didn't feel that it was respectful to women, and so they've stopped playing it too. It's their most popular song, so totally respect that Farruko has done that. And yeah, I feel like now I have someone I can root for, since I don't know much. And I know Bad Bunny because, like, who doesn't? But I really only know Bad Bunny because he wrestled at WrestleMania once, and he has a song called Booker T about a wrestler named Booker T. But, you know, I guess however you access the world of Latin music, it's all good, right?
Yeah,
as long as you get there.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you can check out the Latin American Music Awards destination that Kwam and Liz just spoke about by saying Latin American Music Awards into your voice remote. Next up, it's time to set your phasers to fun for a super geeky, super animated edition of Editor's Picks. From classics like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z to new hits like Black Clover and Attack on Titan, Japanese animated series and movies are hotter than ever among kids and adults alike. And whether you're an anime fanatic or just looking to dip your toe into this dazzling world of cartoon chaos, Xfinity has exactly what you're looking for with a brand new anime destination. And Liz is here to tell us more about it. Liz?
Thanks, David. So yeah, happy to talk all things anime. So if you say anime into your remote, here we are. So here's our destination where we have curated, like David mentioned, some of your favorites from the 70s and 80s. So think of Lupin. So if you think of, earlier anime, also of the 90s and 2000s. So no matter when you started watching anime, we have some nostalgia for you. We also have the recent anime to get you going, just in case you'd like to start now. Also a whole free destination on Zumo where you can watch all anime for free. Not all, all of their anime for free on the Zumo platform. Also, we have by character. So we have collections by character. And so things you can't see on here, well, you do see Pokemon, you see Dragon Ball Z. What you don't see is One Piece. We also have Demon Slayer. So lots of great characters curated by that character. So you're able to go in there, find your favorite, and take a look. So yes, don't forget, say anime into your remote to check out our anime collection. Guys, what do you think? Do you have your favorites?
I don't have. Oh, okay, go. Then you go, Kwam.
Oh, yes. Let me take the floor. Well, yes. As I'm not going to call myself an anime connoisseur, but I definitely grew up on anime, most specifically Dragon Ball Z. I think, every young kid in the early or late 90s, early 2000s grew up on Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball, which was its predecessor. That was so pivotal for me in my development. I can remember just watching all the episodes like back to back to back, and when they came on like Cartoon Network and Toonami. Shout out to everyone who remembers Toonami. And we used to, me and my cousins used to like play the video games. Like we used to get so like into it. I used to like believe I was a Goku. That was like my hero. And he was essentially my Superman, because this is before I really got into comics. And yeah, Goku was my Superman. But some other animes that I really love and enjoyed as a kid, and still to this day, are Yu Yu Hakusho. Is probably my favorite anime, which is about a spirit. Not a spirit detective, but this guy, he dies, becomes a ghost cop essentially, and has to save the world from the underworld. Naruto, of course, that's a classic. Inuyasha. What else is there? Attack on Titan is a more recent one that I'm really familiar with. Yes, it's so good. It's like the Game of Thrones of anime, is how it's been described. And one I'm really getting into just recently is My Hero Academia. That's also a really fun one. It's so much fun. It's so colorful, and it's like a perfect anime show. And One Punch Man. If you're like a big critic of anime, One Punch Man is probably gonna be the show for you, because it's pretty much it's satirical. It just takes everything that anime does and just like makes fun of it. Like how you have this overpowered, superhero that just comes in and saves the day, or these super long, drawn out monologues. One Punch Man is very funny. It's perfect for anyone who likes to criticize anime and some of the shortcomings. As you can see,
I love this. I love this.
No idea. I have
Me
no
either.
idea you liked anime so much.
Blown.
It's so good.
I don't watch anime like TV series, but I love the films of Hiro Miyazaki. Spirited Away is one of the most beautiful movies that's ever been created in any genre. Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbor Totoro, like his catalog is beautiful. And so I love those. I don't watch series. I once had a roommate when I was in college who lost his job because he didn't go to work because he didn't want to miss his anime series on Cartoon Network. He legit would just sit on the chair in our living room and watch it, and he lost his job because he didn't want to miss his programs.
Are you still friends? Let him know. Let him know about our destination.
I haven't seen him in like 20 years. He was gone. I don't even remember his name, but we called him Richard. That was not his name, but we did call him Richard. It's a much longer story, and no one cares, but he loved anime and he sacrificed everything for it.
I love it. Well, this is for you, Richard. This is for you and all the other Richards of the world.
No, he's watching One Punch Man right now. So
for sure.
Speaking of the popularity of anime, it's no secret that comic book movies have absolutely dominated theaters around the world. But I think you might be surprised by how many TV series are actually adapted from comic books and graphic novels. So while Liz and her team were busy pulling together that incredible anime destination, I was personally curating a countdown of the 25 best comic book TV adaptations that you can watch right now. So just say best comic book shows into your voice remote to explore this collective, eclectic collection of action-packed series, including new DC shows like HBO Max's DMZ and Peacemaker, hit Marvel series like Disney Plus's Hawkeye and Loki, or a couple of my 90s childhood favorites, X-Men and Batman the Animated Series. Remember Fox Afternoons? X-Men and Batman the Animated Series was the best right after school. You can't see it, but Kwam's shaking his head because he's like 18 right now. As for the top 10 series in my countdown, I wanted to include some of my favorite shows of all time, which are airing right now, including TNT's Snowpiercer, Prime Video's The Boys, Netflix's I Am Not Okay With This, and of course the 1960s Batman series starring Burt Ward and Adam West. And what I really love about this collection is that several of these series don't fit into the mold of what most people consider to be comic book shows. It's not all superheroes and capes. Sometimes it's an angsty high school girl with telekinetic powers, or a quadriplegic orphan who joins an ancient order of ass-kicking nuns. And whether you like comic books or not, I think there's something here for everyone to enjoy in this collection. Old, young, whether you like superheroes or not, you'll find something. Do any of these speak to either of you?
I've never watched any of these, and I feel like now I need to. I'm so glad that you created this destination for people like me who have not probably watched any of these, or might come across something that you didn't realize was based off of a comic book. I'm excited because if I think back to like comics, I don't know any series, right? I love lots of the movies, but I love that you now have put together this this whole collection on the shows. So I'll be there to check it out for sure.
All right. I recommend I Am Not Okay With This or End of the Effing World, which are based on, write it down. They are like proper like dramas, and there's a little bit of like supernatural, especially to I Am Not Okay With This, but more than anything else, they're just like good character studies. They're just good dramas that happen to have a little bit of, because graphic novels aren't all about superheroes. Sometimes they're just illustrated stories about the human experience, even if it doesn't involve supernatural. That
was so poetic. So poetic.
Thank you.
Are you about to blow our mind again, Kwam? Like, what's happening right now?
I was getting ready to, but now I'm not going to because now I feel.
Do it.
I feel like
do it.
The pressure.
Nah, go for it.
I love it.
Well, as David mentioned, yes, I watched all those animated series that were from the 90s and early 2000s because I was a kid and I loved superheroes. And like the Spider-Man animated series, the X-Men animated series, the Batman animated series. I really love the Batman animated series where I forget what it was called, but it was like Batman in the future. It had a lot of black and red to the color scheme. Do you know what I'm talking about, David?
It was Batman Beyond?
Batman Beyond! That was my show. That was my show, yes.
I love it.
That was the one. But more contemporary shows that I'm really enjoying right now. The Boys, obviously. Watchmen, I thought that was fantastic up until the last episode, but we're not gonna talk about that. There's another one that I'm watching right now that I can't put my finger on. There's obviously Peacemaker, but there's one in particular I think that's on right now that I'm really enjoying. Moon Knight. That's I think on Disney Plus. I think that's one's it's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. I'm loving the Heckle and what's the God, never mind, skip that. Anyway, I'm loving Moon. I'm loving Moon Knight.
Yeah.
We'll just edit that in post. I'm just fascinated by listening to all the nerd stuff that Quam likes that I had no idea.
Oh,
Who
yes.
knew that this was going to be Quam's show? Love it.
I am a true nerd. Nerds come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, okay? We all can be nerds. And if you're a nerd, come be with me, nerd out with me. And yes, let's just hang in our nerdom. But yes, I love superhero movies. I love superhero shows.
That is poetic, Quam.
I try.
Well, you can nerd out with all of us and check out both of these destinations right now by saying anime and best comic book shows into your voice remote right now. And before we head out for the week, as always, we're here to help you organize your TV watch list in a segment called Plan Ahead. This week's premieres feature cowboys, lawyers, politicians, flight attendants, and Sweet Birthday Baby. And Liz is going to tell us all about it. Liz?
We're going to start off the week on April 15th from Apple TV Plus is Roar. This 8-part anthology series from the creators of Glow is based on a short story collection of the same name. Each story is a unique retelling of a fable from a woman's perspective, combining comedy, drama, and a little bit of magic. Watch this star-studded cast on Apple TV Plus beginning April 15th. Next up is Outer Range on Prime, also on April 15th. This Western meets supernatural meets thriller is a series that follows a rancher trying to hold on to his land and his sanity as he learns the mystery of this land. Again, you want to catch that on Prime, April 15th. On April 17th, you can start watching The First Lady on Showtime. This series follows 3 powerful historical figures from the White House. Yes, we're talking about the First Lady. Told from their perspective, you'll learn why some say behind every powerful man is a powerful woman. Catch it on Showtime beginning April 17th. For my fans of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul will debut its 6th and final season on April 18th. And if you've been sleeping on this series, there really is no better time to start than now. This has been called one of the best prequels ever created, and maybe even better than the original. So you won't want to miss it. Again on AMC beginning April 18th. Netflix's Russian Doll will premiere the season 2 on April 20th. This comedy drama series follows a woman who wakes up every single day only to die the exact same way. And as she relives this same night over and over again, she tries to solve the mystery that is her murder. Again, you won't want to miss it. Season 2 premiere on Netflix of The Russian Doll. And we're going to round out the week with The Flight Attendant on HBO Max on April 21st. This is the 2nd season of our favorite alcoholic flight attendant who wakes up next to a murdered man and can't remember anything. And as she slowly starts to gain her memory, she starts to put together the pieces of the crime. You won't want to miss season 2 of The Flight Attendant on HBO Max on April 21st.
And for our finales, the forecast calls for a little snowfall, a heaping helping of fast food, and a round-trip flight with an invisible pilot. Quam, tell us about the shows coming to an end this week.
After 4 seasons, the British spy thriller Killing Eve will be coming to a close. The series follows Eve Polastri, who is played by Sandra Oh. Eve is an intelligence investigator who grows tired of her role in M15. She soon joins an undercover division within M16 and is tasked with capturing a ruthless international assassin. Killing Eve will finale on April 17th on BBC America. Also on April 17th, Power, Book 4, Force, is set to have its season finale. This is the 4th spin-off series within the Power universe. It follows Tommy Egan, the crime partner and best friend to the now deceased James Ghost St. Patrick from the original Power series. Tommy cuts ties to his life in New York and moves to Chicago. There, he finds himself back in the life of crime. Power, Book 4, Force will have its season finale on April 17th on Starz. The 3-part docuseries, The Invisible Pilot, will be finaleing on April 18th. The Invisible Pilot follows the story of a seemingly happy husband and father who unexpectedly jumped off a building in 1977. As his small-town community searches for his body, his family and friends search for answers. Years later, a story emerges involving hypnosis, secret identities, and a double life. The finale of The Invisible Pilot comes to HBO Max on April 18th. The 5th season of FX hit series Snowfall will be coming to a close. Snowfall is centered around the infancy of the crack epidemic in Los Angeles, California. We follow the stories of several characters whose lives are fated to intersect on a violent collision course. Snowfall will have its season finale on April 20th on FX. Fast Foodies will have its season finale on April 21st. This reality series follows culinary masters Kristen Kish, Jeremy Ford, and Justin Sutherland as they compete to recreate a guest celebrity's favorite fast food dish and then later put their own spin on it. Fast Foodies will finale on April 21st on True TV.
And if you're looking for a tease of what's coming a little further out, Season 2 of Prime Video's A Very British Scandal premieres April 22nd. The Starz Julia Roberts drama Gaslit premieres April 24th. HBO Max's Hitman dramedy Barry returns for a 3rd season April 24th. The Epix Western drama Billy the Kid premieres April 24th. Showtime sci-fi series The Man Who Fell to Earth premieres, you guessed it, April 24th. And Paramount Plus's Making of the Godfather series The Offer, debuts on April 28th. So much good stuff coming up for you to watch. And that will do it for today's show. Big thanks to our special guest and star of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Nicolas Cage, for joining us. And an even bigger thanks to my fellow Xfinity editors, Liz and Quam, for joining me. And shout out to our producers, Brad, Aaron, and everyone behind the scenes for making this show tick. We appreciate you. Quick housekeeping note, we are taking next week off, technically, but you'll only have to wait a few extra days for a new episode of What to Watch Live. Starting April 25th, our show is moving to Mondays at 4 p.m. Every Monday, 4 p.m. Be here and check it out. On April 25th, we're doing a watch-a-thon preview episode, getting you ready for TV's biggest week. In the meantime, if you want to check out the TV shows and movies we talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview big celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote or tune in here every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, starting April 25th for a new episode. My name is David. Thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live.
Bye.